Hey class, it's Professor Green Eisen back with another piece of information about the upcoming Vampire Academic Conference, which will be held October 30th and 31st. I had mentioned in a video that I posted yesterday for you all that the conference is closed for proposals where you would want to present something on, the American Vampire. But there's no registration fee, so anybody who's interested in just signing up to view as an audience member participant, if you have an interest in sort of vampiric themes and themes of vampires in American cinema and novels, etc., that's something that you can do. That also, as a creative writing class, I wanted to encourage you to submit work for the Vampiric Writing Contest. Now, this information is in, I believe, our Canvas and also in the Literary Guild, which I've sent you all an invitation for it, so you can take advantage of that invitation and join the Literary Guild, which I mentioned yesterday, so I won't go into that anymore. But I wanted to point out some things about this Vampiric Writing Conference. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, and so we can take a look at a couple of things. So here you should be seeing the Vampiric Writing Contest. This is the main page, the data sheet on it. So the October 15 deadline, as you can see there, we still have a couple weeks away. Now the contest covers two different genres of creative writing. One is poetry, where you're creating a modified haiku, and we're going to look at some specific information about haiku here in just a second, and the short story. Now, these either one of these should have a vampiric theme of some sort. So what is a vampiric theme? The notion of, what do we want to call it, undead, or the notion of staying out of sunlight and not having a stake through the heart, and sucking blood, and whatever else you think is vampiric in terms of anything from the traditional Bela Lugosi style vampire movie to Nosferatu to Buffy the Vampire Slayer and teenage high school vampires, whatever. Okay, so field is wide open, just a general overall vampiric theme. Now, for the short story, this is a really short story, so it's not easy to write one, even though it seems so. But this is a short story of getting as close to 666 words without going over. All right, 666 just seemed like kind of a vampiric number theme. And as I was speaking with the organizers of this, people who typically organize the conference year after year, they had said that sounds like a good kind of contest we can do. So contest is open. If you have any stories, or if you're working on stories, give this a try. I think looking for stunning images, solid narrative, strong characters, essentially good stories, and experimental forms is fine. So if you want to write your story in the form of a Facebook post or something like that, that's something interesting. Or if you want to write a story in the form of letters back and forth between someone who wants to be a vampire, or is a vampire, or doesn't want to be a vampire, what have you, right? The top 3 works in each category will be read by the authors in the conference session. So this will be your chance to participate in an international conference. This is a Vampire International Conference and Film Festival, and the Literary Guild is hosting the Vampire Academic Conference portion of this. There's also a Vampire Film Festival, which is part of the larger piece. But anyways, what SCF and Literary Guild is sponsoring is that Vampire Academic portion of it. So the top 3 works in each category will be read by the authors, and the first place winner will receive a special prize that will be sent to the winner's postal address. We're still social distancing, and so sending it by mail is the way that we'll go for that. So I went to the Poetry Foundation, and we haven't talked yet in the class really about form, except I know that you had a chapter on forms of poetry. But poetry and form means it just has some kind of a rhyming scheme or a rhythmic scheme. There's a ba-da, 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 which gives it a definition. So when we talk about the number of syllables or the number of stress patterns, when you say a word, that has stress, like giraffe, giraffe has a stress on the second syllable. We don't stress the first syllable, or it's on like giraffe. So we don't say giraffe or giraffe, we say giraffe. So stress patterns can change based on the context of words, etc. So anyways, that's one way of defining form, is to say what kind of stress and rhythmic patterns do we see, what kind of rhyming patterns. And haiku or hoku is a Japanese verse form of poetry that originated in Japan, in which an unrhymed, right, I'm just reading here right from the very first paragraph here in this poetry foundation, that 3 unrhymed lines, which contain 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 syllables in the third line. It often features an image or a pair of images. Most frequently, it's 2 images meant to depict the essence of a specific moment in time. Oftentimes, the 2 images are meant to overlap one another or blend together in some way, where the one image plays off of the other image or makes a statement about the other image. So if you look at, this is a haiku by Issa, translated by Jane Hirschfield. On a branch floating down river, a cricket singing. Short, brief, just like a breath, right? And so this is one image, right? On a branch. Now you'll notice it's not 5. So some contemporary haiku writers will say that 5 is the maximum, but it can be shorter, right? And so this is a way of saying the poem has to be brief. It has to be just a moment. And so on a branch, these are 3 one-syllable words, so it's 3. Now the other thing you have to consider is that as Jane Hirschfield is translating this from another language, in the original language may have included 5 syllables. So that's also a possibility, all right? So let's go to see if there's more haiku. I want to see more haiku. This one by Jack Kerouac I'm familiar with. He's a beat poet. The bottoms of my shoes are clean from walking in the rain. So that's just another, again, these are brief. I wish they were all on one page. I want to get away from Kerouac. I don't want to look at the same one. John Brandy, I'm not familiar with this one. A party where everyone says goodbye, then stays. The earth shakes, Steve Sandfield. The earth shakes just enough to remind us. I'm just randomly picking these things. Koi by Jennifer Wong. Among heart-shaped leaves, the white fish gleams, red tail, soft lotuses sleep. This is very traditional. This is a very traditional sounding one. Among heart-shaped leaves, the white fish gleams, red tail, that's only 6. Soft lotuses sleep. 5. So 5, 6, 5, really close. But what I like about this one is that there are 2 images, okay? Among heart-shaped leaves, the white fish gleams, red tail. So there's white fish, red tail. Very specific images. The tail is red. The fish is white. The leaves are heart-shaped, so we can see what's going on here, okay? Among heart-shaped leaves, the white fish gleams, red tail. And then the last line is kind of a statement or an image that sets against the first one that we see. Soft lotuses sleep. So there's personification, right? Lotuses are flowers. Flowers we don't really sleep. I don't think they do. Maybe they do, but I don't think they do. But we know that the petals may be closed, and so it looks like sleep, and so this gives us a sense. So there's a softness. So you'll notice too that also haiku frequently addresses a theme of nature. Poem written with basho. A photograph. This might be interesting. Oh no, too long. That's not a haiku. Um, Poem written with Issa. Let me see. Hopefully it's not another long poem. Yeah, it's too long. Too long. Gotta be 3 lines. Gotta be 3 lines. That's we'll see if there's any others here. Franz Wright. Franz Wright's an excellent poet. This is too long already. Oh my goodness. No, that's not a haiku. All right, maybe that's it for now. Blackbird Etude, A.E. Stallings. But so anyway, so here, this looks like it might be like a series of haiku, right? The blackbird sings at the frontier of his music. The branch where he sat marks the brink of doubt, is the outpost of his realm, edge from which to rout encroaches with trills. So it's not really a haiku. I like the sound of this poem, but it's not really a haiku. Anyway, so I kind of went here. I didn't really obviously go through and vet all these things. Here's one. Okay, so this is one by Issa, translated by Robert Haas. Mosquito at my ear. Mosquito at my ear. Does he think I'm deaf? And so what statement is this making? So haiku oftentimes evokes images of nature. And so as a vampiric haiku, could it, does it have to conform to that idea of images of nature? And the answer is, I think, kind of no. I mean, it doesn't, they're poems, they can do whatever. So anyways, I would encourage you to go ahead and put together some stuff. And if you want to submit your writing for that, submit your work to Vampire Writing Contest at gmail.com, and give it a try. And the worst thing that can happen is what I will. Anyone who's a student who submits, I will respond to you certainly. Regardless of where it places in the Vampire Writing Contest. But this is a good place to go out and try to place a poem somewhere. And so anyways, wanted to let me stop sharing. I just wanted to give you that opportunity to sit down and talk a little bit about the Vampire Writing Contest, and give you an opportunity to see what it involved, and to say I think you should all try something. I think even if it's just a haiku, or if you prefer prose, it's a story. We're going to be getting into prose really soon here, after next week. But even though we haven't gone there yet, if you're into story writing, it's worth giving it a try. Try to write a really, really, really short story. 666 words is really short. So anyway, I hope you'll give it some thought, and come and see us at the Literary Guild, or come and send off some work. You're welcome to submit more than one thing. Just email it to the Vampire Writing Contest address. And if you have any questions, as always, email me. Otherwise, I'll probably not post a video until end of next week, maybe, until we get closer to switching genres into the creative nonfiction. All right. So until then, I look forward to reading your stuff on Canvas and giving you some commentary there.